Verses 33 through 35 of Surah Al-Zukhruf are very powerful verses, and they are the reason why the surah is given the title Zukhruf, because the word Zukhruf actually appears in these verses in the surah. So the word Zukhruf means anything that's used to beautify something, right? We would in English refer to it as an adornment. And in these verses, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about the idea that what He has granted to the disbelievers or those who disobey God from the blessings of this world in this dunya are simply adornments. They are simply beautifications, but these are not things that a believer is supposed to see as his end-all be-all. So the Quran says, وَلَوْلَا أَن يَكُونَ النَّاسُ أُمَّةً وَاحِدَةً لَجَعَلْنَا لِمَنْ يَكْفُرُ بِالرَّحْمَنِ لِبُيُوتِهِمْ سُقُفًا مِّن فِضَّةٍ. If it wasn't for the fact that the believers would start to lose their faith, we would have given to the disbelievers more of the blessings of this world, right? Of course, we can think about disbelievers today, or people who are not the best of people, and in terms of the blessings of this world, they have many blessings. Their houses are such, and the cars are such, and their residences are such, and so on and so forth. And the Quran says we would want to give them even more from these blessings. But the thing is, if we were to give them even more, the believer would then start to lose his faith. Because you and I as believers, we may not have that wisdom to understand the main point that these verses are making, which is the blessings of this world are not an indication of much. So the one who is heavily blessed in this world doesn't necessarily mean he's a great person, doesn't necessarily mean he's a terrible person either. And so the Quran says we care so little about the blessings in this world that we are willing to give away even more of it. Except, the believers would lose their faith, so we don't do that. But the blessings of this world we don't care about. What's the lesson in this for you and I? The lesson in this for you and I is to distance ourselves from this lifestyle that you find a lot of times is the impact. Sometimes social media has that impact, and sometimes just living life in general, of getting sad and getting down when you look at your life and you compare your life to the life of others. And you say, well, this person is 10 times more famous. This person is 10 times more good looking. This person has 100 friends around them who want to spend time with them. This person has this type of a spouse, right? This type of children, and so on and so forth. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, listen, these are blessings of this world. كُلُّ ذَلِكَ إِن كُلُّ ذَلِكَ إِلَّا مَتَاعُ الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا. These are the short-lived blessings of this world that we give to whoever we want. What you're looking for is the akhirah. And that akhirah عِنْدَ رَبِّكَ لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. God is holding on to it. That akhirah is so special, we don't give it to the disbelievers. Yes, those who knowingly turn from the truth, not someone who doesn't know. And we don't give it to the people who knowingly disobey us. That is exclusively for the muttaqeen, because that one is actually worth something. The blessings in this world, the Quran says, these are not the biggest blessings. Doesn't mean if you find them in their life, you shouldn't be thankful, or they're not a big deal. The Quran is comparing them to the next world. So the Quran says these blessings are zukhrufa. They're like adornment. And when they're adornment and they're just a means of beautification, it is important for us not to lose hope in life, not to get down on ourselves. Maybe sometimes even we start to have bad akhlaq with the people around us. Why? Because we feel like our life isn't going anywhere. Why? Because we see someone else is succeeding in the life of the dunya. And the Quran is saying, listen, that's not something you need to be concerned about. Yeah, strive for the best life, but it's not something to bother yourself about. And this is why the first Imam Ali salawatullahi wasalamu alayhi, he has so many lines on belittling the dunya. And what he means is this, that this is not something that if you get your hands on it, you should get too happy, right? And it's also not something that if you miss out on, that you get sad about it. Neither of these situations should be happening for you. And this is what Surah Al-Hadid says, لِكَيْ لَا تَأْسَوْا عَلَى مَا فَاتَكُمْ وَلَا تَفْرَحُوا بِمَا آتَاكُمْ. You shouldn't get too happy if you get it. You shouldn't get too sad if you miss out on it.